Okay. I hope I look better now. I feel like I look like crap. Anyways, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name is Mariana. If you're not new, you already know who I am, and possibly you already know what my nickname is. Hi, I have really nothing to say, just that I finally was able to lower my storage on my phone. So maybe today I will be able to upload some type of long formatted content. So this time it will be Driveway Diaries, and I can talk about the stories I was talking about on Friday. But I had too much storage on my phone and I couldn't continue it, and I honestly deleted it because I just didn't like how it looked. So also, I do talk a lot, but I do go silent when I edit these. Like, I go silent and I just look stupid. I genuinely do. But that's besides the point. How are you guys? How was your weekend? I hope your weekend is doing very well. I am currently getting off of work. I typically don't work on Saturdays, but sometimes I do. And it's not that much of work, if you want me to be quite honest. So I'm not really here to be like, damn, I have to work on Saturday. Damn, I do have to wake up early and drive an hour to go to work. But other than that, I really don't mind it. So, but I'm hoping you guys are enjoying your weekend. It's a Saturday. It's really hot. It's always hot in Georgia, except in the mornings when it's freezing cold. It's supposed to get cold next week. Like, it's supposed to be in the 20s when you wake up early in the morning. And I'm just here like, what? Like, I thought we were supposed to be in spring. Even though I hate spring and summer, just because I have recently, last year, gotten the allergic reaction of pollen. And let's just say it was not a pretty season for me. Like, legitimately, I was literally crying because I couldn't breathe. All I did was sniff, sneeze, and my eyes were burning. And I think that was the first time I understood what a hay fever was. Like, it was the worst. Not even the allergy pills that my boyfriend would get over the counter were helping me. Like, it just sucked. Like, I hated it. Like, I would skip the gym because I just hated the experience. Like, I had to start wearing face masks just like if it was COVID all over again. But I hope you guys are enjoying this lovely warm weather. I know for a fact probably you guys are enjoying it, dressing for it, hanging out for it, because one, I am not the type of person to be coming out during this time. I love to be inside with the AC very high. That's I just love being inside. I hate bugs. I don't mind the traveling to go from point A to point B and seeing things, but I haven't done that like years ago. I just prefer being inside at this point. Like, I'm not much of a going out kind of person. But if you guys are, let me know what you guys do down in the comments below. Like, what do you love about spring? What do you love about summer? Is it the heat? Is it the traveling? Is it the seeing the friends? Is it because you're out of school? Is it because work is easier to manage? Why do you guys like these kind of seasons? I typically go more for autumn, well, fall and winter, just because I love spooky season. I just love October. Well, I love September and October just because of how the weather changes. Like, it's just so spooky. I wish it was spooky season round, if you want me to be quite honest. Like, I just love those seasons so much. I just hate spring and summer. I just hate the heat. So today I will be talking about 4 story times that have happened to me when I was younger, that now, if I look back at it, could have been dealt with differently, but are funny. You know, all these experiences I have come to, most of my circle doesn't know of it, just because I don't open up in regards to whatever happened in the past. And I don't know, like, I just feel like it's already done and there's nothing to fix. So I bring it up. But let me bring it up to social media. Like, why not make my whole entire trauma into some kind of content for other people to make fun of, have fun, enjoy, and just be like, you know what? That is so messed up, but something similar happened to me. Like, I can kind of relate to that to a certain degree. And I feel like to a certain degree most people will be able to relate certain amount of context from what I'm talking about, just because I don't know, back then were different times, and back then people did so many different things. All of this happened before I moved to Georgia. This was, I can't really tell you the age of when I moved to Georgia. I just know it was whatever age a second grader is in. That's all I can say. All of this happened due to my mom not being able to take care of me, just because, one, I've said this so many times, my mom was and is a single mother. She raised 4 kids on her own with no help that I'm aware of. Um, and she had 3 jobs. So I had 2 babysitters. These 2 babysitters lived in the same apartment complex, and they didn't live in the same building, but they lived in the same vicinity of where the apartment complex was. I just know that this is babysitter one. She, let's just say that she was the rudest one out of all of them. She used to talk a lot about me by bringing me down and calling me stupid. But she wouldn't say stupid in English, because I find stupid in English, it doesn't sound as harsh as saying it in Spanish. Like, she will call me tonta, idiota, te haces, eres bruta, and I'm just here like, to me those words hurt so much. I was just here like, in my little mind, I didn't really know English that much, just because in my household it was mostly Spanish. I didn't know English other than watching PBS Kids and me having to take like ESOL when I was in kindergarten. But um, anyways, so what the whole story was that this babysitter had 2 incidents that I can recall out of all the incidents that she probably made me go through. So the first one was, I think, the first time when I had been dropped. I didn't have any food, but I was provided with extra clothes and a blanket in case anything happened. So when my mom went to go drop me off, the lady was like, she was really nice when she greeted my mom, but as soon as she closed the door, she was like, "Go sleep on the couch. Do not turn on the TV. I'm too tired for you to be making any noise." And when I was little, I honestly really didn't make any noise, but I would respond with yes and okay. So I was like, okay. I went to the couch. I had my blanket, and I fell asleep on the couch. So I think, I don't really know how long it took for her kids to wake up, but she had 2 twin boys. And the thing that woke me up was that she was starting to make breakfast. And I think the ideal breakfast for every single Hispanic little kid was salchicha con huevos. um and so, that's what it was. So I had gotten woken up with her cooking, and then her 2 twin kids making so much noise. So I guess they didn't notice me that I was on the couch. So when they had, I guess, ran back to go get whatever they had to get from their rooms, they came and they just looked at me, and then they were like, "¿Quién eres tú? ¿Por qué estás en nuestra casa? ¿Por qué estás durmiendo en nuestro sillón?" And I'm just here like, I didn't really say much, because I was like, I didn't know what to say. So the mom was like, "La estoy cuidando, no peleen." And I'm just here like, oh. I was just there. I was just waiting for her to like tell me, "Hey, come to the kitchen to eat," because I didn't really do anything without people telling me what to do, especially when it's a home that I'm not aware of. And my mom would always be like, "Estás en casa ajena, pon atención y respeta lo que tienen ahí en la casa." So I was just here like, okay, I'll just wait until this lady tells me to move to the kitchen so I can eat huevos con salchicha. So after that, she tells me to go to the kitchen. We all eat together, and the kids are literally just like making fun of me. They're just like, "Eres gorda, tienes mucho pelo en las manos, well, in the arms." They were like, "Why do you dress like that? It's not even cold outside." And they were like, "You look so poor." And they were just calling me all these names in the book. And in my mind, I just can't say anything. Like, this is not my home. I don't know these kids. I cannot disrespect them. So I'm just going to stay quiet. So I did stay quiet. I was just, moving with the motion of the day. And then eventually, I don't know what time of day it was, but the mom had to go do something. I'm guessing cleaning. I'm not 100% sure. But she was doing something. And I was sitting on the couch that was in the corner, and I was watching TV. And the kids were going back and forth playing games in their bedroom, and then they were coming out and running around. And then eventually, like, they tell me they don't want to watch PBS, they want to watch some kind of cable channel. Like, I'm not really aware. And I didn't have the control remote. They were fighting over the control remote to see what to watch. And at the end, they decided to just turn off the TV. And I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm not going to watch TV no more. This isn't my house. And I was just there minding my business. Next thing you know, they threw a rubber ball at me, like those rubber balls that you throw and they bounce back at you. They were throwing these rubber balls back at me, and they kept on hitting me and hitting me. And I would be like, can you please stop? And they would just laugh at me, and they will keep on throwing it. And eventually, like, I guess, like, I was just so overwhelmed, I just started crying. Not wailing, I just started crying. You just see tears coming out of me, and I just tell them, can you please stop? They wouldn't stop until, like, I think they hit somewhere where it really hurt. That's when I started crying and you could hear me. And that's when the mom was just like, ¿Qué está pasando? ¿Por qué estás llorando? And I don't say anything just because, one, I don't want to make this into a bigger deal for then her to eventually tell my mom, and then my mom be telling me, no quiero líos porque no quiero que me llamen y no tengo tiempo de salirme del trabajo. And I know my mom meant well. She was a single mother working 3 jobs. Like, you don't have time for this. And I can't blame her for it now. Back then, I did have a lot of anger towards her, but now it's just like she did her best. Her best might have could have been better, but I'm not gonna blame her for it. Like, things happen, situations happen. I All I can do is say is this is her first time living. She does not understand. She wouldn't understand. She just had to do what she had to do. So I just didn't say anything, and then the kids were like, "Oh, it's because we turned off the TV because we didn't want to watch the TV." And the thing is that she couldn't really see where they were hitting me because I was wearing a long sleeve. So since I was wearing a long sleeve, you can't really see red marks on me or the bruises. And it was what it was. I just didn't want to say anything to cause more issues and then to have issues with my mom. So that was the first incident that happened that stuck with me, since it was like the first impression and the first day being with her. So then the next impression that was left with me was, I think, around November or December. She had told my mom that she wanted me to be well dressed because we were going to be outside a warehouse waiting for them to open because they were doing like this Toys for Tot drive, and they were donating toys. So my mom, she dressed me up. She dressed me up with like triple layer clothes just because in Colorado it's cold. It wasn't snowing. It was freezing though. Like, I can tell you, like, I was literally shivering. Like, I couldn't feel my fingertips. So she covers me fully. The only thing I'm not carrying with me are gloves, a beanie, and a blanket. But I'm thoroughly well covered. The only thing is that this lady did not tell my mom that we would be there from 6 in the morning until they opened the doors. So we were there from 6 up until probably like 7:38 when they opened the gates to the warehouse. And we're in this line. I'm waiting, and I'm freezing to death in the dark to begin with. The lady, she's covered fully, and she has one of those Mexican blankets that is just like for a person size. It's not for a mattress size, it's a person size. And everybody in that line has blankets besides me. And I'm over here shivering. My ears are cold, my face are red, my fingertips are red, and I'm just here like literally I'm just like waddling in place just to keep some kind of heat within myself. And nothing happens. All she tells me is like, yo te dije, yo le dije a tu mamá que te abrigara bien porque si no ibas a tener mucho frío hoy, pero se mira que tu mamá no me escuchó. And I'm just here like a little kid. I'm like, why are you telling me this? Like, why tell me this thing? And eventually, I think the people either behind us or in front of us were giving her the dirty look at the end of the day. Like, it wasn't even for an hour, it was like the last 30 minutes. She gave me her Mexican blanket, and I was just there so happy because finally I was warm again. So we get inside the gate, and there's like these little stations, and then in these little stations they give you this, like, I guess, index card with four squares. But within these this index card, you have to have your name, like your full name, your address, and your phone number. And they're asking me this, and I look at her and I'm like, I don't know this information. Like, I just know that my name is Lupita. I didn't know my full government name. I just knew my nickname. And she looks at me and she's like, ¿Eres tonta o te haces? And I'm just here like, I just look at her dazed, and she's like, ¿Cómo de que no sabes tu dirección y tu número de teléfono y tu nombre completo? And like, ¿tu mamá no te enseñó esto o qué? And I'm just here like, holy what? Like, this lady is literally bashing my own mother for not having the time to tell me or teach me these things. And I'm just here like, Miss Ma'am, what do you want me to tell you? I don't know this information. So, out of pure annoyance and irritation, she puts my full name, which is Mariana Cos. She doesn't put my middle name. And then she puts her address and her phone number. And she's just looking at me with such annoyance that literally she shoos me off and she's like, Ves, coge tu juguete. And I'm alone in this warehouse. I'm surprised I didn't get kidnapped. I'm alone in this warehouse looking for said toys, and nobody explained to me, like, what am I supposed to do. And the thing is that with this index card, you had four punch holes, and each toy had a different value depending on the punch holes. So let's say if you wanted a toy that was one punch hole, they would only punch one hole out of the four. If the most expensive toy was four, then they would punch all four, and now you can't get any more toys. So I had gone to one of the counters, and there was this doll that I loved, and I was like, I have to have this doll. And the reason why I say is that I have to is because my mom really never purchased toys for me, just because the money wasn't for toys. It was for financial necessities to be paid off. So, like bills and food and gas. And the only time I would get toys is for like Christmas, my birthday, or any kind of special occasion. But I couldn't play with said toys because those said toys were literally placed on the closet bottom portion, and they were just there like as memorabilia. Like, my mom would not, she wouldn't let me open them just because I was a messy child. I would lose things. So I would understand my mother telling me not to open them. And this doll was just a singular doll. I don't remember. I think it was a Raggedy Ann doll, not like Annabelle, but a Raggedy Ann doll. And I just fell in love with it. And they were like, "Oh, this is four punch holes. After you get these four punched, you can't get any more toys." And I was fine with that. I was like, "Okay, Gucci." So I get my doll. They punch the holes, and then I'm over here looking for my babysitter. And she looks at me and she's like, "Did you get what you want?" And then I was like, "Yes." I showed her to her, and then she's like, ¿Eres tonta? ¿Usaste tus cuatro, your four little squares on this damn doll? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, eres bien tonta. No sabes cómo manejar nada. And I'm just here like, I'm still being belittled after me happily getting this doll. I didn't pay that much attention just because, like, as a child, yes, you recognize that what adults are calling you names, they stick with you. And I'm just here like, okay. So after that, I wait for her kids. I wait for the people that come with us. And these kids, like, literally got toys that literally they lost on the way, either to the car or to the house or to the apartment. I mean, like, they lost those toys this fast. And they're over here making fun of me in the car, saying that I'm dumb, that I wasted my squares on one doll, that this and this and that and that. And then once we got home, they were fighting because they're like, I'm missing this toy is gone, and they're crying. And I'm just over here with my doll waiting for my mom. And yeah, like that was the experience I had with this babysitter. Do I know where she's at now? No. Did I continue going to her? Yes, just because my mom couldn't find anybody else, and I never voiced to her that I hated this babysitter, that I didn't want to come back, that she literally treated me bad, and her kids literally bullied me so many times. I remember this other instance where I had brought a coloring book with crayons. Literally, I was only able to color one page, and the rest of it, they're like, it's mine. They broke my crayons, they ripped my coloring book, And then when my mom came pick me up, she was like, "Where's your coloring book?" And I was just here like, they took it from me. And my mom was just like, "Oh, okay," and that's it. I never got my coloring book back or my crayons because everything was ripped or destroyed. But yeah, that was the first babysitter. Now, the second babysitter, I had her, I think, when I had started either kindergarten or first grade. The reason why I say this is because I do recall her picking me up from school, and the school that I had gone to, I'm not really sure what it was. I don't remember if it was public or private, but I just remember that we were wearing uniforms and the uniforms had emblems of the school. So she would pick me up. This lady, I can't say I dislike her or I like her. It's just she's just there. Like it was her husband, and then she had a newborn baby and a son. I don't remember if the son was a year older than me or a year younger than me, but I think we were kind of in the same age range. But I remember two instances from this lady. The first instance was that she had picked me up from school, and first she picked up her son and then she picked me up. So from us getting picked up, we go to her home, and her she is preparing for us to have food. And her son, he's playing around, he's roughhousing, and I tell him like, I don't want to play rough, like I just don't want to play rough. And then he starts getting louder and louder, and he starts jumping, he starts pushing me, he starts like little slaps here and there on my shoulder and my arm. And I tell him like, can you please stop? Like I don't want to play like this. Like I don't want to play. And next thing you know, he's jumping on the couches. And if I think about it, I feel like he was trying to do a WWE move by jumping and then hitting on me.
Name is John C.
But that didn't happen. He did jump on the couch, and he did like jump in the air, and my reaction was to close my eyes and slap him midair. And that was my reaction. That was my self-defense reaction. And all you hear is a thud and him crying. So when I had slapped him, he landed on the floor and he starts crying. His mom comes into the living room, and she starts yelling at me, telling me, "Why did you hit my son? Why did you touch my son? My son doesn't do anything. He's an angel." Da 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 this, da 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 that. And she didn't let me explain, because before all this happened, I did go up to her and be like, "Hey, your son is playing rough with me, and I don't want to play. Can you please tell him to stop?" And she didn't do anything. She was like, "I can't do anything. I'm cooking right now." And that's when the whole scene was. I kept on telling him to stop. He wouldn't stop. And then he jumped. I slapped him, and then he fell. He landed on the floor. So she starts yelling at me. She starts telling me that I'm a bad child, that she doesn't want to take care of me anymore, that she's going to tell my mom. And as soon as she said that she was going to tell my mom, I start having this feeling of anxiety and pit in my stomach where my mom's going to beat me up when I get home. Does she beat me up? No, she never beats me up. I'm clearing that out. She will yell at me with a stern voice, though. And I just hated the fact that I would disappoint my mom with anything, just because I knew how much she worked and how much, she tries to provide for us in the jobs that she has. So I had that pit in my stomach. I was like, oh no, if my mom finds out, like she's gonna yell at me, she can kick me out of the house. It was just all that little whole thing where I was starting to have a mental breakdown, and I didn't know that was a mental breakdown. And she tells me, go sit in the corner. So I go sit in the corner, and I'm crying, and she's like, I'm not gonna feed you, you're gonna eat until you get to your house. And I'm over there crying. I'm trying to contemplate what I did wrong, and I'm just there crying, and I don't know what to do. Like for me at that moment, my whole world was crumbling down. Like I was just here like, oh my gosh, like how can I do this to my own mom? And as soon as my mom gets to pick me up, I'm still in that corner, and my mom's asking her, ¿Por qué está allí en ese rincón? And that's when she tells my mom, es que le pegó a mi hijo y es una lección para ella. And then that's when mom's like, ¿y qué hizo tu hijo? And I'm like, mi hijo no hizo nada. And that's when my mom still saw like his cheek was ready, like, ¿y por qué tiene una bofetada ahí en la cara? And that's when she was like, well, your daughter gave him a slap. in the face. And like, but why? My daughter doesn't even know how to fight. Like, why shouldn't I be hitting people? And that's when I tell her, and I'm just here like, oh, it's because I kept on telling him to stop, and he wouldn't stop. And he jumped on the couch, and he was about to hit me. So what I did was close my eyes, and I slapped him out of pure defense, and just whatever happened. That my mom just looked at the lady, and she was just like, "Este es el último día que te voy a traer a mi hija. No te voy a pagar el día." That's like the only time I told my mom. Clearly, my mom doesn't remember just because I brought it up one time. She was like, I don't remember that. So that's how that happened. And there was this other instance where uh, I think it's more my fault for not paying attention. But we had gotten into her vehicle, and she didn't put a seatbelt on me. She didn't tell me to move over, but I had placed my fingers on like where you close the door, and my like four fingers were trapped there. And along the ride, I was holding in the pain. And once we got there, she opened the door and she realized I had my fingers there, and she told me, "Why didn't you tell me your fingers were there? Your fingers could have fallen off." And that's when I started getting scared because I thought my fingers were gonna fall off because my four fingers were stuck in the doorway. And yeah. And then after that, I just started staying home by myself because my mom was just like she didn't want to deal with me always like getting hurt, injured, or crying, and she's like, I don't have time for this. Just stay home alone. And that's when I started staying home alone. But that's when I also started getting the fear of dying alone at that very young age. Like I started fearing death at the age of what, 5 or 6. Before I came to Georgia, I was terrified. I was terrified of that, and I don't know how that realization came of death because nobody talked death while we were at home, but it just came to mind for some reason. But yeah, those are my babysitter stories. I do have an extra story where this didn't happen with babysitters. This happened with relatives in Colorado that I don't think nobody knows. I don't even think if they remember, but I just remember that this happened in such a hazy manner that now that I think about it, it's funny, but I don't know how it started. Like, I don't know. So, my uncle from my mom's side, so her brother, we had gone to go visit his place, and he had at the time, still does, but at that time, he had 3 daughters. Two of them were way older than I was, and then there was a daughter that was, I think, 3 years older than me, and then it was me. And we had gone, my mom and I had gone there, and my uncle, I don't know who brought up the whole thing of taking me to the park, but we went to the park, and I just remember that my cousins were so annoyed that we were going to the park. And we're just over there. Once we get to the park, I'm minding my own business. I'm playing in the playground, and I just see that my older cousins are fighting with these 2 girls. And I'm not sure if they're from the same school, the neighborhood, whatever, but they were fighting. And somehow them not fist fighting, they were more arguing. I don't know how the argument finished, but they separated, they went their own ways, and I was just playing. Eventually my 2 older cousins came up to me like, hey, we're about to leave. And I was like, oh, can you just wait? I want to go swing on the swing. Just because I've never been out on the park like this recreationally, just because the only park I've been to is the one when you have recess at school. I've never been to a park outside of school just because my mom never had time. So I go to said, I tell them I'm gonna go to the swings and just let me be there for a little bit, and then from there we can start heading home. I never made it to the swing. Literally, all I know, out of a pure haze, my hair gets pulled, and the 2 girls that were arguing with my cousin had pulled my hair and they dragged me. Next thing you know, I'm getting tussled, my hair is getting pulled, my braids are getting undone, I'm getting scratch marks, and literally, I fall on the concrete floor and I scraped my legs and my knees and my arms. Basically, I came out scraped, scratched, and undone hair, and I wasn't aware why. I was just like, hold up. I was just like, what's going on? In my brain, I just didn't know what was going on. Next thing you know, they're calling me names. They're calling my cousins names. They're calling me racist slurs. And I'm just here like, what's going on? The fight breaks up. I don't know how it breaks up. I just know that I'm in so much pain and I look like a hot mess. I'm also crying on the way home. snot's coming out of my nose, and my cousins are yelling at me, telling me to shut up because if I continue crying and they get in trouble, they're gonna make me cry even more. And we're walking. It's like a 5 to 10 minute walk back to their house, and I'm just here confused. I literally look like they picked me up off of the street. Like that's how bad it was. I get home, my uncle and my mom are like, "¿Qué pasó?" And my cousins say, "Oh, it's because she was playing rough and she fell, and stuff happened." And my mom and uncle believe me. Well, not me. They believe them. And I'm just there, like I'm still in a haze. I'm still confused. I don't know what the hell went on. I wasn't even part of any kind of argument, and I was the one who ended up getting beat up. So, yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know where these girls are at. I just know that this happened in Colorado in some park. Like, sheesh. They probably don't remember this, but I remember this clearly. Like, I laugh about it now because I was like, damn, I was such a wuss. I wish somebody would have taught me how to fight. But yeah. Do I know how to fight now? No. Do I fight? No, because I don't like conflicts. I don't like being in the middle of whatever. I like my peace. I like coming home knowing that I'm coming home without any issues, without any problems, without any baggage of whatever it is. Like, I like my life like that. I don't like being into issues with other people. I don't. And if people have issues with me, it's fine. I just don't do anything about it because at the end of the day, does it affect me? Not really. Does it hurt me low key, emotionally, mentally? Yes, yes, it does. Will I say anything about it? No. I'll just move on with my day and be like, damn, and probably forget about it. That's how it typically goes, if you want me to be quite honest. So, yeah, those are my little story times.